Hi everyone, it's Suzanne here. Thanks for joining me for another paper pumpkin alternative. This is for November 2016. Came in a blue box. So aside from the instructions and the wonderful Winterland photo polymer stamp set, we also got a Dapper Denim and a Pear Pizzazz ink spot. So before I go into all the other stuff that we got, I'm just going to show you how I'm going to keep my die brush and my spongy thing for the die brush. I'm going to keep it in this little blue box. So we get 8 card bases, 8 envelopes, 12 laser cut sheets, 8 vellum sheets, 4 yards of white and silver baker's twine, 30 sequins, mini dimensionals, and mini adhesive dots. So for my first card, I'm taking the trees, and I have sponged with Pear Pizzazz, and then I'm using some different colors from my ink stash. I have Soft Sky and Smoky Slate, and this is just a little piece of a little square of Whisper White Thick. So my next little square, I have Soft Sky, and then I've added to that Marina Mist, and then I'm adding to that some Dapper Denim. So if you have never tried sponging before, doing it on smaller pieces might work a little bit better for you. I have sponged the little housey here and with Dapper Denim, and then I'm sort of going over it with the black Memento ink pad, and I have done the same with the other houses and trees as well, and again, just touching them up with a little bit of black as well, just to give some nighttime feel to it. So my third little square, I started off with Daffodil Delight, and then I went into Rose Red ink, and that sort of created an orange. And then I went in with my Rich Razzleberry, and then I think that was it for that one. And I just blended, oh no, I did go in a little bit with some Dapper Denim. So this pen I picked up from Michael's. It is oil-based white paint, and it comes in a pen. So I'm using it to create snow or stars. It's up to you, if whatever you want to interpret it as. And then I flicked on some Wink of Stella as well to add some shimmer and shine to the little squares. So now I have turned my little papers around, my little laser cuts, and I'm applying glue dots to the houses, and I'm just trying to adhere everything down, and I will be using some fast fuse as well. And each of these are going to go on each of the squares that I have created. So the trees will go on the Smoky Slate and Soft Sky square, and I just cut that off. The single house is going to go on the blue background, and the bigger houses, or the 2 houses, are going to go on that sunset sky. I've put a lot of Wink of Stella, of course. I Wink of Stella everything, if you hadn't noticed. Love it. And just to sort of create a shine from it. So here's my thick Whisper White card base. I didn't really like the smaller size cards, so I'm going with my own card stock I have in my stash. And I am just adhering the little squares down. I think they call them inchies, but I'm not 100% sure. Putting them down with some fast fuse, cutting off the extra, and then tying a bow with my silver and white ribbon. Trimming off the excess, and there you go. First card done. And here's another version. I just dotted that ink on from that pen from Michaels. Okay, so here's my shaker card, and I'm just starting off with a piece of Whisper White Thin, and every ½ inch I am drawing a pencil line to which I'm just going to stamp right over top of it with my Pear Pizzazz ink. And I'm repeatedly going to do this to make my own background paper. So once everything was stamped, I'm erasing my lines and putting that aside. Now I have a thick Whisper White card front here, and I'm going to put on some adhesive called Stick It. It's double-sided adhesive, and I'm using my layering ovals, and I just wanted to cut out a frame. Okay, so I've lost some video footage, but basically what I did was I heat embossed the acetate that I'm using for my shaker card. It's real simple to do. You just have to put a lot of embossing buddy on it. So now I am adding my frame, and now the foam strips that I bought these, but there was a previous kit that sort of had them, and if you didn't use them all up, you could easily use them. I noticed that it was easier to take off the backing piece and then sort of curve it to the oval. And on both sides I put the embossing buddy because I have some glitter that I want to put inside this, and the inside of that adhesive sheet has to be, or sorry, the inside of the acetate has to be really good and dusted. Okay, so anyway, I've adhered all 3 pieces of my houses layering scene, and I die cut it already, but now I've added the vellum to it because it was just too thick. It wouldn't go through the Big Shot, and then I put it through again, but I still needed to use a craft knife to cut through all 5 pieces of that. So I'm just making sure that I have a lot of embossing buddy powder, and now I'm adding my shaker guts, and those were Martha Stewart white stars and blue stars, plus I had some dazzling diamonds as well. And I had to make sure that all of the pieces were really glued down well, so because if not, the shaker bits were going to fall through. So learn from experience, just glue everything down as best you can. And I have used a Pear Pizzazz for my card base, and then this is my shaker card. Shaka. It's cute. I like it. And I used silver embossing powder for that Merry Christmas sentiment. Okay, card number 3. So I have my layering pieces, and I'm layering them all on top of one another. I'm going to do the exact sort of same thing as the shaker card, just putting as much adhesive everywhere as possible. I'm going to run that through the Big Shot in a second. Here's my Whisper White card base, and this is a circle die that is no longer in service, or you can't get it anymore from Stampin' Up, but you could use a plate too and draw a circle, that sort of thing. So I die cut the card front, making sure that I didn't cut the fold part, but then I die cut the images, and now I'm stamping with Dapper Denim and Smoky Slate for my snowflakes. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Tombow on my silicone craft mat here, and with a sponge I'm going to add some glue to the white hills and some of the white trees, and this will create some lovely sparkle to my card. So I'm making a little snip in my round card, and that's where the string is going to adhere to, because it's really hard to put something, string on a round thing. So I needed to sort of trim both sides, just a little snip. And there's my circle card, first circle card I've ever done. Okay, so I sped this up a lot. This is my ink blending card. Started off with a circle and used Pear Pizzazz, and I'm coming in very, very lightly with my Dapper Denim. Put that aside, and then this is a card front. I started off with Daffodil Delight, moved on into the Rose Red, and you can see that beautiful orange that those two create. And then I'm putting on some Rich Razzleberry. And my ink pad is very dry. I've just re-inked it now because I noticed it wasn't inking the page properly. And then I go in with Night of Navy, and to create an evening sky. You can see the direction that I'm going here, and a little bit of black on the tips, on the edges. So now I'm just cutting the houses out, as many as I need. And I have the black sponge, and I am treating all of these little houses in black. And I'm going to put some fast fuse on the front of them, and then I'm going to adhere them to my little earth. So this is sort of a play on the earth, really. So I've adhered them all down, and I want them all to look like little houses on top of the earth. So this took a while, and I did speed the inking up quite a bit, but you do go back and forth quite a bit between the colors that you're trying to blend with your sponges, but it does work exceptionally well. And I have added some dimensionals to the very back of my little planet, and I just want to put it off in the corner there, so you can see that the light shines through those windows quite nicely. So I'm cutting off the excess, and yeah, I did abuse my dimensionals here, and I used the big ones, not the little ones. And now I've let that dry, and now I'm using an embossing buddy and Versamark ink, and I am sprinkling on some white embossing powder, heating that up with my heat tool, and you can see the houses I have actually put dimensionals on as well. Little bit of some, I didn't want them to fall flat. So this die cut is called Christmas Greetings. Stampin' Up does sell it. Comes 3 words: merry, jolly, and peace. So get it? It's peace on earth. Like, how poignant, right? The peace is on the earth. Okay, if anybody gets my humor. I didn't think I needed to add anything more to that. So I had a few little boo-boos, so I added some rhinestones. And now I'm just using a thick Whisper white card base, creasing it with my bone folder, putting some fast fuse on that card front. And in a card like this, I sort of put the folded edge down on my desk, and then I add the front piece in case I have to cut anything off, which I didn't. So that's good. And then I coated all the little black houses with Wink of Stella. And that's my card. I really like the blend between the the Daffodil Delight and the Rose Red. It makes a really nice orange. Okay, so this is the very last card. I have again used my silicone mat and some Tombow glue, and a lot of those little leftover trees that I was either inking or sponging. I try to use every last bit of the paper pumpkin I can. So I have all these little trees. I'm sticking glue to the back side of them and adhering them to the very bottom of my top folding card. And you can see I just use my craft knife to sort of cut away. Sometimes I'm using the scissors. Sometimes the trees were green, sometimes they were blue, sometimes they were black blue. It really added to a lot of color dimension, color pop at the bottom of the card. And I also put some white in there just for, you know, continuity. And there's my little buddy Quinn trying to help. Anyway, so I'm just cutting off the little bits and pieces of the trees now. And I will be using the vellum here, and I have put fast fuse on the back of the trees, and I cut the vellum in half actually, and then I'm just using a little bit of that blue, I guess it's soft sky possibly, piece, and adhering that to the back so that it's behind the vellum. I'm using the ink pad Dapper Denim for the greeting. A lot of dimensionals are going on this piece, and I cut it down so that it would be just a little rectangle, and as soon as I can find placement for it, I then will wrap some of that baker's twine around and cut off the little bits and pieces. And I only colored the white trees with the Winkostella. I didn't go mad on this one. So that pretty much is all of my alternatives. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next month with another 5 cards. Bye. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. On screen are 2 more videos for inspiration. Click on the maple leaf to visit my website, or click on me to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching.